Coming to you live from the rinks in Hauppauge, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. A great one to finish off the night. A fantastic second game of the night as well between KPC and Ward Melville, and KPC with the back and forth 6-5 win. That final goal in the last minute and 17 seconds, putting them in a playoff spot. Middle Country and ESM taking the ice for the final matchup here tonight. Two teams both set on making the playoffs, but not only making the playoffs, but doing something in said playoffs if/when they get there. Middle Country 6-5 on the year, 12 points. Coming off a wild game of their own against Southampton. Southampton victorious in that game, 6-4. They got a last-second empty netter to pull them ahead by one. Goaltender Leontios Terriazos was fantastic in that game for the Whalers. Cougars looking to respond and get back in the win column. They were on a 3-game heater prior to that game. That was snapped by Southampton. Southampton currently finding themselves in the 6th spot, but only 1 point behind 4th and 5th place teams. Ahead of them, Longwood, and one of those teams in 4th place, ESM. 7-3-1 record for the Sharks, as they have maintained good form. A lot of the team coming back. It's their second year on the freshman team. They're coming off a 10-0 shutout win against Sachem a week ago on January the 17th. They too fell to the hands of Southampton prior to that, 6-3. On January the 10th, a 1-1 record in the new year for the Sharks. This is their first meeting against Middle Country this season. In terms of players to look out for in this game for Middle Country, Derek Johnson, 20 points, 14 goals, 6 assists in 8 games played. Their leader in points and goals, a difference maker on the ice. His presence felt each and every time he is out there. Jonathan Moringer, second in points with 13, and Madison DeCharo. Six goals, 2 assists, 8 points for ESM. So we're underway here in this one. My apologies. Let's get that graphic right, as we've got ESM and Middle Country. My apologies there, folks. Up against one another for ESM. They're led by Kevin Beckman. There's an early chance here for ESM goes awry. Beckman, 16 goals, 8 assists, 24 points. Leads all of the freshman skaters in the point department this year. He has the puck now. Speeds up around the net. Into the zone with speed. Beckman to himself, and unable to get a shot through. Defended well on the back end. Long shot taken by Fritzen, goes over the net. Push to the near side, and here goes Madison DeCharo in the zone with speed. DeCharo drags. DeCharo shot over the wide of the net past goaltender Austin Pagano, who will start the first half of the game for ESM before handing the pipes over to Elijah Moran. Pass through center ice, missed. Pisano will not be an icing. Pisano first on it. Check to the boards by Caliano. Shot a drive, and a save made by starting goaltender Jack LaSala for Middle Country. Johnson over the line onside. Cuts middle. And Travaia applying the pressure. Took it away from Johnson. Swept across by Caliendo. Picked up by Maresca. Back now for Johnson to get things going. Up ice, Maresca with Dylan DeCharo. Sends around out of the reach of Elena Figueroa. Poke back into the opposite corner. Dylan DeCharo pressured in, has his pocket pick. Good defensive play made this time by Bonaventure. Bonaventure stalled at the line. Play was going to be offside. Dumped right back in by ESM. No score here. We hit about the minute, or rather 2-minute and 30-second mark of the first period. Good lead pass incoming here for La Sala. That is Mason La Sala. That shot steered aside by Pagano. ESM dump it right back in. Wraps around. Middle Country look to break it right back out. Deflected ahead by Conlon onto the stick of Beckman. Beckman to Gia Lorenzi. Middle Country touch up. Pagano settles it down for Kevin Beckman. Beckman banked along to Pisano. And now in with speed, Shupp. Thwarted, good defensive play. Made that time by Madison DeCharo. DeCharo between the legs, poked away by Beckman. Right onto the stick of Jack Conlon. And right back down low, it's McCarthy. McCarthy greeted by Gia Lorenzi in the near corner. Kept alive by DeCharo. Madison, now a shot from McCarthy, denied by Pagano. And she will hold on to it. With a minute and 12 seconds left here in the first period. Off the face-off, cleared to center. Pisano giving chase. Pushed back along by Reyes. Everett Shupp to Kevin Beckman. Beckman around two, into the zone. Kevin Beckman, far circle, stalls. DeCharo down to a knee, forces Beckman, shot around wide. Gia Lorenzi trying to hold it on the near point, could not, and now Everett Shupp to himself and flung it back into the zone. Picked up by Madison DeCharo. Stopped by Middle Country netminder Jack La Sala, and he'll cover it on the far post. Offensive draw coming for ESM. Second on the team in points for ESM is Carl McGovern. Won't believe McGovern in the lineup tonight for the Sharks. Only has 1 goal, but 19 assists for Carl McGovern. Neutralized, Intravaya dumps in. Caliendo hustles to it. Plays it up the far boards. Looking for a quick breakout here for Middle Country, and they do get it to Maresca. Maresca across. Mason La Sala left it behind him. Tries to plug it back to the blue line. Instead, spins it down low as Anza knocked down Maresca in front. McCarthy rips it right back around to the other side to Jack La Sala. Or pardon me, that's Mason. Anza, another good defensive play. And then a big hit. Taking the hit to make the play. The ESM defenseman delayed penalty. ESM will go to the game's first power play as McCarthy will head off. Penalty against Middle Country. ESM to the power play. Bonaventure coughed it up. Dylan Charo. Shupp, good back check. Creates the turnover. Intravaya, feathered one to Shupp, taken away by Derek Johnson. His high flip. Beckman tried to glove it down, could not. DeCharo knocked down by Kevin Beckman. That was Dylan. getting knocked down. Intravia trying to lead Shupp out of the zone. Shupp got it back from Conlon. Everett Shupp. Near side Pisano going to work on Johnson. Luca Pisano able to play it down the boards. Right out in front and behind. Everett Shupp in front all the way down ice. .8:34 left here in the first period. Everett Shupp right back in. Drops it. Intravia. Try to go across. Broken up and cleared by Middle Country. A good clear there for Mason LaSala. 40 seconds left on the ESM power play. Here comes Kevin Beckman. 3 Cougars back, including Johnson, who disrupts Beckman's trip toward the front of the net, covered by Jack LaSala. 8:08 to go, first period. And 34 seconds left on the ESM power play. Iskra will take the draw. 6 skaters out for ESM, and they'll reorganize now with Anza and Gia Lorenzi heading off. Bonventure and Beckman the pairing on the back end for the Sharks. Beckman to Bonventure. Bonventure near circle. Finds the open skater. It's Iskro. Iskro try to deflect one on goal. It's cleared out by Maddie DiChiaro. Bonventure. Good lead pass to Iskro. Got by her, and here comes DiChiaro. Into the zone. DiChiaro behind the back pass. A little off target on its way toward Mason LaSala, who's able to put it deep. Just 5 seconds left on the power play for ESM. And they will come up empty on their first chance of the night. Beckman deflected ahead by Intravia. Onto the stick of Maddie DiChiaro. Intercepted by Bonventure. Slowed up to allow Intravia to come back on side, but nonetheless offsides is called against the Sharks. 7:16 left first period. No score between Middle Country and ESM. A stark difference between the last Middle Country game, which featured 6 first period goals, 3 for the Cougars, 3 for the Whalers. Scoring would slow down later in that game, but it was a hot start to say the least. Good read and intercept. And dumping in is Reyes. Gia Lorenzi to the loose puck. Off the stick of Pagano. Sends around. Cross ice pass for Pisano. Through his feet. Picked back up by DiChiaro. DiChiaro hits the brakes. Pressured on the play. And out of the zone. Gia Lorenzi has to watch it. 3 Cougars behind him. And was able to play it to Pisano, who dumps in. Over to the loose puck is Stores. Check there from Pisano. Nudged back along. Luca Pisano. Out in front for Shupp. Didn't get much on the shot, and it's fired down ice by Reyes. It'll be an icing on Middle Country. Offensive zone draw for ESM. Face off to the right of Jack LaSala. Iskra will take the draw. Mariella Iskra. It's around for Johnson. Derek Johnson across to Conlon. Redirected onto the stick of Fritzen. Fritzen poked away from him by Mason LaSala. Picked up by Intravia. Carries in the zone for ESM. Drop pass right into the lap of Derek Johnson, who rolls around a couple of defensemen. Into the zone. Johnson, slot shot, deflects off the stick of Beckman and out of play. And that's a matchup to keep your eye on for the rest of the game. When Beckman's out, expect to see Johnson. And when Johnson's on the ice, expect to see Beckman. Normally see Derek Johnson play forward. He is playing wing for this faceoff. Has been playing defense as well in this game as that puck escapes the zone in between the sticks of Caliendo and Giametti. I haven't seen Jesse Verticana is listed on the team lineup for this game, but no sight of Verticana. Has been a welcomed addition to the Middle Country team. Is out in front. A loose puck cleared out from the crease. Johnson picking up speed over the red, over the blue. Derek Johnson slot, rips a shot. Glove save made. Pagano and covers it on the side of the net. The lively Karam off the boards here in the rinks. We're under 5 to play. First period, no score between Middle Country and ESM. A game that has had a playoff feel to it as the freshman season turns the corner of the halfway mark into the second half. Pachero down the near boards for the play of her brother Dylan. Dylan trying a seam pass through to Madison. Madison has it here near point. Carries to the middle of the ice. Takes a shot over the net. We're going to play the puck here. It's Figueroa. However, escapes the zone. Here comes Everett Shupp with speed. Shupp is in. Shupp fights off a check to the forehand. Turned away by La Sala. And it's a goal. Celebration here for ESM. It went in through the back door. Everett Shupp. Highlight reel goal opens the scoring. 1-0 Sharks. And watch him swat the defender away. Creates space. Takes that shot. I never saw the puck. I saw it there. And there's the point for the good goal. A fantastic rush up ice from Everett Shupp. Putting the Sharks ahead 1-0. Everett Shupp, his 8th of the year and 19th point. Dylan Nacharo looking for a response for the Cougars. Good defense provided by ESM. Long shot from the point, turned away by the stick of Pagano. Right back out in front. Chance for McCarthy, went wide. And Travaia looking to catch back up with the puck. Poked away from him by Caliendo. And now Dylan Nacharo. Right back on it. As Madison streaking up the near side. And Dylan Nacharo checked from behind by Gabrielson. Delayed penalty on ESM. Middle Country will go to their first power play of the night. Hooking penalty is called. And will go against Aiden Gabrielson. Aiden Gabrielson, in 8 games played, has 9 goals, 10 assists for 19 points. He will go to the box. Power play. Middle Country, and an initial shot blocked and now out of the zone. Anza, rink wide to Beckman, who drilled it off the back of the helmet of Derek Johnson. Sent right back in. Mason LaSala to Johnson. Johnson in the zone with speed. Hits the brakes, allows his teammates to establish the zone. Johnson, head fake. Johnson cuts middle. Johnson looking back door. Poked away by Beckman. Johnson to Giametti. Giametti wrist shot deflected over the net. Mason LaSala picks the pocket of Anza. Plays it up to Johnson. Pisano was watching Johnson. Johnson around Anza. Johnson in behind. Johnson had the puck on his stick, almost looking for maybe a Michigan. Long wrist shot deflects wide. Giametti right back out in front. onto the stick of Beckman and down ice. Good zone time for Middle Country. Not much in the way of high-scoring chances. 45 seconds left on the power play. Derek Johnson over the red line, over the blue line, into the zone, cuts middle. Johnson swiped away. Good defense provided by Everett Shupp. He'll go for a change. Conlon. Check by Pisano, who took the puck away. Pisano into the zone. Pisano near circle. A drive and a blocker save made by LaSala. Caliendo carrying it up ice. Caliendo, nice move. Caliendo near circle. Deflects wide off the stick of Beckman. And Travaia battling in the far corner with Mason LaSala as the power play comes to an end. 0 for 1, our Middle Country. Same can be said for ESM. Final minute 20. 1-0 Sharks. Beckman trying to lead Pisano into the zone. Has it in the near corner, watched by Madison DiChiaro. Pisano around, trying to go back door, was blocked. Beckman on the loose puck. Beckman, nice move around Dillon. DiChiaro. Beckman through Dillon. Into the corner, pinned against the boards by Madison DiChiaro. And taken by brother Dillon. Giametti. Off the glass and to center. Beckman. Conlon rolls in. Conlon to the backhand. Conlon the shot wide. DiChiaro. Spins. Looking. Fed it through. Dillon backdoor. Right back across. Madison DiChiaro shoots. Still loose. Stabbed out by the stick of Pagano and kept out. Reyes at the far point. Shot blocked by Stores. Picked up and skated out of the zone by Travaia. One-on-one with Madison DiChiaro. Not sure if that was a fake shot or a fan shot. Either way, blocked and cleared as time expires. And period number 1. And I mentioned the playoff atmosphere this game has brought to it. 1-0 ESM after 1. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Second period gets underway in just a moment. Stick around on LISN. Second period set to begin. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan joined alongside cameraman Wally Mitchell. Lone goal for ESM scored by Everett Shupp, unassisted. The difference in the game thus far. Johnson a drive, and that's blocked by Gabrielson. Johnson has it back. Curls away and gets it back to the point, hoping for DiChiaro, just out of the reach of her. She's able to keep it on the far boards. And roll right back into the zone. Madison DiChiaro centers through the feet of Maresca and Reyes. Foot race here. And Perugine beaten to the puck by Johnson. Derek Johnson in behind the Middle Country net. Leading scorer this season for the Cougars, as well as last season. as that puck got through the feet of Maresca. Trying to dangle his way out of the zone, unable to do so. There was Bonventure. Rattles around for Everett Shupp. He's got the difference-making goal. 1-0. Everett Shupp. Nice move on the backhand. Now forehand side of the net. Shupp on the backhand. Back to the point. Wrist shot along the ice. Deflects wide off the stick of Caliendo in front. Back to Jack LaSala. Plays it off the near corner glass. Johnson trying to get it around Fritzen. Good stand there from Fritzen at the near boards. So Middle Country will try the far side. A nice play there from Everett Shupp. Shupp battling Mason LaSala. Poked out of the zone. Fritzen has a poke by him. Mason LaSala. Backhands in deep for Middle Country. Gia Lorenzi. Sends it around the boards. Caliendo hitting the reset button. Goes across to Giametti. Giametti off the boards and in, and off the boards and right back out. Goes down for an icing on ESM. 12:41 left here, second period. Again, Middle Country 6-5. Win tonight puts them back even with Southampton with 14 points and knocking on the door of both ESM and Longwood. And a win tonight for ESM puts them 1 point behind East Islip for third place. Rivera skating toward the puck, taken back by ESM. Down the left wing side, a wrist shot, blocker pad save made on the rush up ice from Pisano. Beckman to the loose puck, taken away by McCarthy. McCarthy, wraparound try, save made. Pagano. Rebound kicks in behind the ESM netminder. Backhanded to the line, held in by Reyes. Knocked down and skated out by Beckman. Kevin Beckman on the forehand. Beckman near circle, wrist shot, glove save made. Jack LaSala, and he'll hang on to it with 11:46 left to go in the middle period. Also the period of the long change. Defensemen for both teams will have to change wisely in this second period of action. Also going on our network, LI Sports Network, Farmingdale taking on FAU. They defeated FAU 6-5 last night. The grudge match going on right now is what a move. Manor DeCharo back door, wouldn't go. Bonventure trying to poke it on through, and Dustin Travaia. And Travaia tangled in the skates, and a good back check from Madison DeCharo. Conlon, nice backhand pass to Dillon. Dillon ahead of Maresca. Maresca catches back up, but it goes behind the net. Draws the penalty, though, in the process. And the Cougars going back to the power play. Tyler Anza, formerly of Pat Med, heads over to the box. Second power play of the game for Middle Country. They came into tonight with a 20% power play on the season. ESM's kill 1 for 1 tonight. Johnson. D-to-D pass to Madison DeCharo. Everything to the outside here. Wrist shot from DeCharo, looking for a deflection. Sticked aside by Pagano. Scrum in the near corner, dug free and fired over the head of DeCharo and all the way down. Nice play made by Aiden Gabrielson. aggressive out to play. It was Jack LaSala. Got it to Johnson. Johnson in the speed. Johnson taking it wide. Johnson, now Beckman comes over to greet him. Johnson near side. Stops at the top of the circle in a shot, or top of the zone and a shot denied by Pagano. DeCharo lost it. Reyes thought about trying to keep in. Instead, it's out of the zone. Knocked down out of midair by DeCharo. Played on further by Johnson. Johnson into the zone. Cuts across the middle of the ice. Poked from his stick and all the way out. Johnson back to get it. Watched by Gabrielson. Plays it to Dylan DeCharo. Fresh off the bench. Dylan skating in with speed. Just 35 seconds left on the Middle Country power play. Great job thus far by the ESM kill. Johnson back in on side. Far circle. Johnson trying to go across to DeCharo. Pass too hot to be handled. Comes out of the zone. And Beckman shorthanded. Looks to try to assert himself. Good poke check by Mason LaSala. Backdoor. Back coming is Kevin Beckman, quickly to disrupt the partial potential breakaway there for Mason LaSala. Back with Madison DeCharo. Tries to deke around Beckman. Blocker save made Pagano. And a penalty upcoming against ESM. Beckman to the box for a tripping penalty drawn by Madison DeCharo. And so as soon as that penalty expires for Middle Country, they go right back on another power play. Their third of the night, 0 for 2 tonight, are the Cougars. But arguably one of the best penalty killers for ESM is in the box in Kevin Beckman. Caliendo to Johnson. McCarthy. Caliendo. Middle Country struggling to make some easy passes here. Finally ahead to Mason LaSala. Taking it wide on Bonventure. Hits the brakes. Banks it back to the point, Giametti. Giametti right back down the boards for McCarthy. McCarthy. Backhands to the point, Caliendo. Caliendo, Giametti. Giametti down to Johnson in the far corner. Derek Johnson. LaSala calls for it. Now gets it over to LaSala. LaSala on the backhand. Another backhand try there for McCarthy. Turned aside by the right pad of Pagano. McCarthy shot wide. Giametti under a minute to go on the power play. Second consecutive here for Middle Country. Batted out of midair with a high stick. Played on by Middle Country. Johnson spins. Johnson twirls. Johnson disrupted by Bonventure and then takes down Bonventure, and Derek Johnson will go to the box, ending the Middle Country threat on the power play. And so both leading scorers for each team sit across from one another in the box. Beckman for tripping and Johnson off for hooking. Four on four for 40 seconds. Followed by a minute and 20 power play for ESM, bearing no other penalties. Here is Newport. Nice move there from Newport. Goes wide, looking over the options around the net. Good defense by Middle Country. Pass to Gabrielson. It's taken off his stick by DeCharo. And that's been the theme of the game thus far, is good defense. Not allowing many dangerous chances and plugging up those passing lanes in the zone. Here's Newport. Walks middle. Shot wide and put wide once more by Gabrielson at an empty net to look at. Power play underway for Middle Country. For ESM. Has a little over a minute on it. And Beckman is out of the box. Try to get it right to him off the stick of Dylan DeCharo. Back with Beckman shot snagged out of midair by Jack LaSala. Got some authority behind this most recent save as they immediately try to get it to Beckman. Beckman plowing his way through, gets possession of the puck, has to take it on the backhand, and not today, Kevin. Said Jack LaSala probably. Shup take the offensive zone draw for ESM. Rattled around and cleared out by Mason LaSala. Bonventure hunting down the loose puck, pressured by Maresca. Hands over to Beckman. Beckman intercepted by Maresca. Good read and good play made by 89 in white. Zachary Maresca back in the zone, ESM. Kevin Beckman near boards. All the way across for Shup. Catches it off the bank. Plays it out in front. One-time shot save. Rebound score! Luca Pisano. 2-0 Sharks. And that is a Sharks power play goal. Again, lively carom at the rinks. We all know about it. You play on it, you're used to it. ESM take advantage of it. And in particular, Luca Pisano doubles the Sharks lead. It's 2-0. As Pisano scores his 14th of the year. Pisano also now up to 19 on the season. Middle Country still not on the board in this game. Don't typically struggle to put the puck in the back of the net, but the defense of ESM, as well as their goaltending in Austin Pagano, have done an excellent job to this point in the game. Bonventure. Under 5 to go in this second period. Pushed ahead to Iskro. Iskro over the line onside. Takes it wide. Giametti with her step for step. Giametti trying to clear. Helped along by Rivera. Or pardon me, that's Figueroa. And Figueroa starts up ice. Good lead pass on the tape of Conlon. Conlon down the near boards in the direction of McCarthy. McCarthy gets it back. Backhand toward the front of the net. Now Conlon, turnaround shot, just missed wide. ESM pick up the loose puck and skate to center. It's Tyler Onza. Onza with Intravia and Stores. Try to get it over to Stores. And taken away with authority. It's skated up ice with speed by Madison DeCharo. DeCharo trying to get around the defender, and a good play made that time defensively by Giovanni Bonventure. ESM back in the offensive zone, try to play it back to the point. Disrupted by Johnson. Johnson once again back out with Kevin Beckman. Figueroa trying to plunge it ahead. Now carried in by Conlon. Conlon, wrist shot, blocker save made Pagano. Good shot there by Conlon. Loose puck swiped at by Madison DeCharo, and she'll look to take a hold of it against Everett Shup. Shup poked it by her. Shup tries to will it into the offensive zone. Poke back now for Derek Johnson. Being watched by Pisano, most recent goal scorer for ESM. Johnson behind his net, looking to chart his way out of the zone. He'll start along the near boards, weave his way toward the middle of the ice. Now on the far side of the ice, Johnson will wrap it around the boards with authority. Rivera near side. Over to Dylan DeCharo. DeCharo put a pass through. Not on the same page with Johnson. And back out into neutral ice for Madison DeCharo. Pressured by Pisano. DiCero takes it in behind. Skates it up the left wing boards. Nearly had it stolen away. Taken back now by Johnson. Johnson cuts in. Johnson, wrist shot, save made. Pagano. She'll hold on to it. .2:11 to go here in the second period. 2-0 ESM over Middle Country. Game that's had a playoff vibe to it. Both defenses have played well. Power play marker for Luca Pisano and a breakaway. Fantastic highlight reel goal for Everett Shupp. You'll surely see it on the weekly top 10 countdown presented on LI Sports Network. You'd also find us on social media at LI Sports Network. Johnson to neutralize with speed, cuts in. Johnson across, fired it wide. Dylan DiCero back up top to Giametti. Giametti, far circle drive, deflected in front by Johnson, denied by Pagano. Good lead pass. Hits Bonventure. Bonventure on the backhand. Hits the brakes. Centers one for Perugine. Perugine, and now a chance. They score! Tic-tac-toe, 3-0 ESM. Aiden Gabrielson buries it. Big goal there for the Sharks. Changing the direction in tight on LaSala. Proved to be enough with a minute 15 left. Looking for a quick response. Conlon shot it wide. Giametti holds in on the far point. Right back down low. Takeaway, Middle Country. We're going to generate something down by 3 to the ESM Sharks. Caliendo. Got the stick in on Intravaya, delayed penalty against Middle Country. And they're shooting themselves in the foot by taking these penalties. Intravaya back to Iskro and touched up by the Cougars, but ESM will go back to the power play. They are 1 for 3 tonight with the player advantage. That last goal, Aiden Gabrielson, Billy Newport, and Perugine picking up assists. Gabrielson's 10th of the year. Newport keeping his point per game pace alive as well. Off the face-off win, long shot from Anza, glove save made by LaSala. And 3-0 ESM. 34 seconds left to go in the second period. Off puck drop toward the front of the net. It's still loose and in behind, rescued by Johnson. And Johnson ahead to McCarthy. McCarthy couldn't pick it up in stride, and so not able to go in all alone for the breakaway. 10 seconds to go in the second period. Caliendo off for hooking, by the way. And that will do it here in the second. 2 more goals for the ESM Sharks in period number 2. Gabrielson from Newport and Perugine, and Pisano from Shupp on the power play. Have the Sharks up by 3 on the Cougars with period number 3 on its way. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brownigan, Wally Mitchell, third period on its way in just a moment. Here and only on LISN.
Just turn and watch the game like this. Just like upside down. That like board like hangs you upside down.
Welcome back to the Rinks and Hop Hog, listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here and only on LI Sports Network. A minute and 20 seconds of power play time carryover from the second to the third for ESM. They are 1 for 3 tonight on the power players. Newport with a chance, could look down low at the shot deflected over the net. Hansa near point. Hansa walks in, takes a wrist shot. Glove save made, a rebound. Unable to get much on the shot was Gabrielson as Beckman goes across to Hansa. Hansa pressured by Madison DeCharo. Hansa prevails, carries in. Pressured by Reyes. Johnson takes over behind the net, backhand flip, got through the ESM defense and all the way down ice. Quick change here for Reyes on the fly as here comes Beckman. Beckman around Johnson. Beckman to the backhand. He scores! Kevin Beckman dazzles us again. 4-0 ESM. And that is yet another Sharks power play goal, their second of the night. Just makes it look so easy. Promise you, it's really not. And now a takeaway. Intravaya rolls in with Iskro and Stores. Intravaya try to drop it to Iskro. Iskro applying the pressure to Mason LaSala as Middle Country are being blanked by ESM and Austin Pagano. Cougars have not been held without a goal all season. Matter of fact, the fewest goals they've had in a game was 2. Conlon has it poked from his stick. Speaks to the defensive play of ESM as well as their goaltending, which there's a goaltending change as Elijah Moran will take the pipes for this third period. Austin Pagano does her job, and an early test for Moran is passed. Makes the save and doesn't surrender the rebound. Goaltending pair last year was Brody Morbillo and Austin Pagano, and Morbillo has gone over to St. Anthony's and had himself a very successful season thus far for the Friars. Madison DeCharo skates in through the slot. Glove save made. Rebound. Figueroa couldn't get to it. Now Johnson a bomb. Glove save made. And quickly covering up is Moran. Welcome to the game, Elijah Moran. Makes a couple of key saves early on to keep Middle Country off the board. Johnson keeps in near point. Kevin Beckman for the Sharks. Reverses course. Created and taken away by Madison DeCharo. DeCharo to Reyes. Reyes, wrist shot. Knocked down by Shupp in front. Taken back by DeCharo. Far boards DeCharo. Sweeping it through. DeCharo onto the backhand. DeCharo shoots through the crease and wide. Figueroa looking to pick it up near side. Instead, ESM clear. And poked into the zone by Perigine. Pisano fed the front of the net to Shupp, deflected wide. Shupp twirling like a ballerina, able to maintain his balance and has control of the puck. Hands it back to Gialorenzi. Gialorenzi down the near boards, poked along by Shupp. Lasala, Jack out to stop it, plays it around. Taken off was DeCharo. It's intercepted by Beckman, who rolls in. Beckman, backdoor! No! Kept out by Lasala. What a save! Gialorenzi intercepted. Here goes Madison DeCharo with Shupp streaking back. DeCharo knocked away by Everett Shupp. Brilliant defense. Denies the breakaway attempt from DeCharo. Now Beckman back the other way for the Sharks. Across ice, far circle, wrist shot. Glove save made and no rebound surrendered by Jack Lasala. There's another excellent defensive play made by ESM in this game. There's been a number of them. Most recently there, Everett Shupp. Shupp, a goal and assist on the game. Showing off the 200 feet skills. Ensuing draw, it's Newport. Newport off the side of the cage. Back to Newport from Gabrielson, and back down to Gabrielson. Aiden Gabrielson swept it out in front. Nobody home for the Sharks. Skated out by Dylan DeCharo. As McCarthy with him, and McCarthy offside. You know, maybe the score is different. It's back in the first period. I don't think that's an offsides. I think you're less inclined to try to get any little bit of advantage you can off the rush like that. More willing to take what you're given, but it's been a frustrating night for the Middle Country Cougars, trailing by 4 in a otherwise somewhat evenly played game. That goaltending, they score! Dylan DeCharo off the rebound, and Middle Country are on the board, just as I was mentioning. And it's off the rush as well. It's going to be a long shot here from Conlon. Blocker save Moran. Rebound, just a little chopper from Dylan DeCharo. And it's 4-1 with still enough time. 10 minutes for Middle Country to potentially start a heroic comeback. They've got the firepower to do so. Intravia down ice for ESM, and now that's the other factor in all this. Got to keep the puck out of your net. Beckman, far circle, he scores! Yeah, like that. Kevin Beckman, second of the game. And look at the power he gets behind this shot. An absolute laser to the back corner of the net. And he heard me say, Middle Country comeback. Said, as the famous Lee Corso, not so fast. Johnson back in for the Cougars. 5-1 to score. Shot, pad save made by Moran. Kevin Beckman protecting the puck from the incoming DeCharo. Madison DeCharo. It's back down ice. Reyes. Conlon. Cross to Johnson. Johnson. Nice little pass to Conlon, who starts up the left wing side. Conlon centers in the skates of DeCharo and swept wide by Maresca. Now back out in front for Conlon, off his stick at the worst moment. And good defense provided by Fritzen, who clears it out for ESM. Does not hit the red line in time. Will be an icing on ESM. .850 left to go here, third period. 4-goal lead reestablished by Kevin Beckman. scoring his 18th of the season. He was in a tie with EI's Evan Connors and Southampton's Cam Minardi atop the freshman division in terms of points with 24. He's got 26 now as Dylan DeCharo's shot off the blocker of Moran and over the top. In the corner, back out front, another save made Moran. ESM push it ahead. Tyler Anza pressured by Dylan DeCharo, taken away by Figueroa. Figueroa backed up by Rivera. Faith Rivera couldn't quite get a clean touch on it. Off the back of the skate of Dylan DeCharo. Dylan, the lone goal for Middle Country tonight. Derek Johnson has been awfully quiet in this game. Circling. Dangles again. Johnson nearly put some words in my mouth. Shot it wide, however. Everett Shupp rumbling into the offensive zone. Got it away by Dylan DeCharo. Carries down the left wing side. 7:30 to go in this third period. Dylan DeCharo over the line, drags, and couldn't get by Anza. Plays it to the far corner. And ESM patient in charting their way up ice out of the zone. Ahead to Luca Pisano. Pisano lost the handle and Shupp flowed on by. Giametti ahead for Mason LaSala. One-on-one. LaSala goes wide on Anza. Got the shot through. A save made Moran, but a good job by Anza to keep him away from the goaltender. But now here comes Mason LaSala. Pass to Rivera. Rivera on the backhand. Pardon me. That's Figueroa, and a save made by Moran. Another good setup here for Middle Country. 2-on-1 down low. Mason LaSala gets the defender to bite. Figueroa took it to the backhand. Moran there to make the stop. Shoveled around for Billy Newport. Aiden Gabrielson helping out defensively as well as Newport survives one stick check, survives another, carries through neutral ice, head up all the way. Newport forced wide by Madison DeCharo, spins, curls, back on for Bonaventure. And across. Fritzen trying to step through. Got it down low and played out in front. No one able to get on the other end of the pass there from Perugine. Puck clears the zone. Bonaventure sitting back waiting for it. Banked it ahead out of the reach of Perugine. Flipped on for Madison DeCharo. Near side. Defended well by Bonaventure. Put it toward the front of the net. Rejected from said front of the net. DeCharo down low. McCarthy back to DeCharo. Scores! Madison DeCharo. Beautiful give and go. Makes it 5-2 with 5:35 to go in the third period. And here it is, down low to Charo. Right back to her. Makes no mistake, beating Moran short side for the Cougars' second goal of the night. And mentioned they were never shut out this season. They weren't even ever held to one goal. They have confirmed that to be true as Shupp gets taken down by Reyes, and that will put ESM back to the power play, where they have struck twice in this game and really can be looked at as a big difference maker. The success of the ESM power play and penalty kill as opposed to the lack thereof for Middle Country. Reyes off. Was it hooking or was it something else? Shot from Beckman underneath Jack LaSala. A little over 5 minutes to play. Beckman, a drive and a blocker save made LaSala, tripping the call on Lucas Reyes. Johnson to Madison DeCharo, and DeCharo clears the zone. By the way, that goal scored by Madison DeCharo recently, her 5th of the year. She's up to 12 points, 3rd most on the Cougars. DeCharo has a wide open Conlon, and nearly accepting the pass there was Conlon. Had to reach out with the stick. Beckman trying to go rink wide. Helped out by the official there was Shupp. Turned it over to Johnson nonetheless. Derek Johnson broke his goalie's ankles. In addition, Jack LaSala down. Now on a knee, Johnson in the offensive zone, applies the brakes, curls back, dekes around one. Johnson on the backhand, once again, stop start, gets around another. It's Shupp, rips a shot wide. ESM trying to get right back in. Good step up by DeCharo. Madison. Pisano banks ahead to Shupp. Shupp around Johnson. Inside, outside. Trying to go back outside. Loose puck. And Travaia had it on the backhand. Stolen away by Dylan DeCharo. With Madison DeCharo streaking up ice. Madison hits the brakes, allowing Dylan to go onside into the zone. Dylan fires across behind his intended target. And now an opportunity the other way for ESM. Madison DeCharo on her horse trying to get back in the play. Johnson gets over and makes a good defensive stop. 6 seconds left to go on the ESM power play. Pisano across to Beckman. And if nothing else there for ESM, 2 minutes off the clock. Beckman back in with the 3-goal lead on the backhand. Beckman, a little flip over the net, missed high. Gia Lorenzi plugs it off the far boards. Newport pressured by Figueroa. Or rather, that's Faith Rivera. Not sure. The hair down blocks the name, blocks the number. I don't know. One of those two. Gia Lorenzi falls to the ice. Garrett in by Travaia with speed. With Figueroa on the back check, and it deflects over the net wide. 2:25 to go. ESM Sharks leading by 3. Billy Newport. Try to play it back to the point. Intercepted and carried up ice by Liam McCarthy. McCarthy helping set up that DeCharo goal. Earlier in the period, collides with Beckman. Beckman goes down. ESM still able to clear it out of the zone. They have done such an exceptional job at just that. Going from defense to offense this game, one of the big differences and why they're ahead by 3. Gabrielson trying to push it toward the front of the net. Stolen away by LaSala, poked off his stick by Newport. Gabrielson on his horse, try to get it in the corner. Mason LaSala gets there first, taking off his stick. Newport, head fake. Outlets pushed out in front. Chance here for the Sharks, and turned away. Mason LaSala came out of his net aggressively and had to recover, and did just that to keep the puck out. With $1:22 remaining here in regulation time. Right off the bench and into the play goes, I believe that's Perigine. He took down LaSala. And so Middle Country will go to the power play. A great source of struggle tonight. Came into the game with a power play percentage listed at 20%. They have not been able to figure out the ESM penalty kill to this point in the game. And Jack LaSala is all the way nearly out of his net to the point of going to the bench, reminiscent of one Timothy Sambickler. So he's not going to the bench for an extra attacker. He's more so playing out of the net like a soccer goalie would. Johnson across, swing and a miss by DeCharo. Mason LaSala has it come out of the zone. Derek Johnson. No points tonight. Another big story. Johnson rolls in. Johnson inside, outside, around, sticking out the stick. Moran shot went wide as Johnson regathered in the far corner. Sent around to Liam McCarthy to greet it in the corner with Tyler Anza. Pisano off the boards and through to center. Picked up with speed by Bonventure. Bonventure rolls in, diving poke check by Jack LaSala, and that will conclude the game. Oh, Jack LaSala looked like he got hurt on that diving poke check. Bitter end to a sour game for Middle Country. ESM there victorious 5-2 over the Cougars in one of the most well-played games I've seen from them all season. At one point led it 4-0 and 5-1. The ESM Sharks improve to 8-3-1 on the year. Looks like Jack LaSala is okay. Love to see that. Sharks up to 17 points. Puts them one behind second place Smithtown Hauppauge Freshman Red and third place East Islip. As for Middle Country, they drop to 6-6 and remain 1 point ahead of now 8th place KPC with 11. That will conclude our coverage here in this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. On behalf of my camera commentator, producer as well, helping set up, Wally Mitchell, I'm Ryan Brannigan. Until next time, folks, as always, especially with the weather to come tomorrow, be safe, be smart, and have a wonderful rest of your night and weekend.